Is Beam ready to boom? Can this crypto achieve the privacy and scalability holy grail? Hello, this is Guy from the Coin Bureau, and in this video I'll attempt to answer this and much more. Before we dive into the juicy details, you guys need to know one or two things. Firstly, I'm nobody's financial advisor, and everything that follows should not be considered investment advice. And secondly, if you just happen to be strolling by, do tap that subscribe button. We release these reviews daily, so you'll want to get them while they're hot. Okay, enough with disclaimer teasing. Let's beam into Beam. Beam is a privacy-oriented open source cryptocurrency that focuses on scalability using the MimbleWimble protocol. Now don't worry if you don't know what that is, we're going to talk about it more in just a bit. Using this protocol, Beam is creating a method that significantly reduces the amount of bloat which resides on the blockchain. Doing so provides much greater scalability for future iterations. The Beam project wants to create a new, privacy-enhanced, user-friendly cryptocurrency that offers transparency and decentralization. However, to get a better understanding of Beam, you need to have a good grasp of the MimbleWimble protocol and how it works. In 2016, an anonymous user by the name of Tom Elvis Jedusaw proposed a protocol he referred to as MimbleWimble. And here's a random crypto fact for the day. Both Tom Elvis Jedusaw and MimbleWimble are references to J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series. Pretty cool, huh? Moving on. The MimbleWimble protocol integrates several concepts into one hybrid blockchain. This creates a network that offers improved privacy and efficiency. As a result, the two areas addressed by the MimbleWimble protocol are scalability and privacy. Thanks to the privacy inherent within the MimbleWimble protocol, Beam offers strong fungibility. If you aren't familiar with the term, fungibility is a currency property that does not distinguish between units of value. They are all considered equal. With MimbleWimble, the person receiving the transaction can generate a blinding factor. What does that mean? It means verification on the MimbleWimble protocol always requires that the number of inputs and the number of transaction outputs always result in 0. Only those participating in the transaction can view the data it contains. This includes the addresses and the value of the transaction. A quick side note here, if any of this is unclear to you, then you can read our complete Beam review that I've linked to below. Now, one of the biggest benefits of using the MimbleWimble protocol and Beam is that it offers the same privacy and security as well-known coins like Monero and Zcash. Oh, and it does so without sacrificing efficiency and transaction speed. For performance and scalability, MimbleWimble removes unnecessary transactions while simultaneously combining intermediary transactions, which helps to improve efficiency on the network. When transactions occur within a block on the MimbleWimble protocol, they look like a random mixture of outputs and inputs as opposed to showing a corresponding list of the same information. Due to this type of behavior, the MimbleWimble protocol lends itself to being significantly more scalable than other blockchain projects. Users can sync to the network easily and quickly, which provides a more practical use of network nodes. However, the question remains, can Beam really offer quick and efficient scalability to blockchain platforms? Using the MimbleWimble protocol means Beam has access to the cut-through features, which are what makes scalability a reality with the project. Here's how it works. First, the protocol allows for transactions to merge by cutting through the intermediary transactions. Intermediary outputs that form a block are presented as one transaction, which allows the system to track the current state without having to do the same for all transactions. When a new node initially joins the network, it begins working with an already compressed history. For example, it might be using a history that only contains blockchain headers and system state information. Since the new node doesn't need to retrieve the entire history of the blockchain, this approach significantly reduces the amount of information needed for a node to begin verifying or mining new blocks. Now, I know that's a lot of information, so I've provided a few links below for additional reading. Before we transition to the tokenomics of Beam, let's take a few minutes and talk less about the MimbleWimble protocol and more about the project as a whole. For starters, the project states that the Beam network is for use as a store of value rather than payments on a day-to-day basis. The network can perform 17 transactions each second, which is much faster than Bitcoin and other more notable privacy cryptocurrencies. However, it's important that you understand that this amount is not yet high enough to use Beam as a payment method. Beam understands this, which is why they're looking at possible future alternatives through a second layer solution. Now, one last area I want to address that often gets overlooked with the Beam project is its auditability feature. This feature gives both individuals and business the ability to provide financial history to auditors in a provable and secure way. By generating multiple key pairs and a public key created by the auditor, companies can accept crypto as a store of value without disclosing transactions or funds to anyone else. Now, keep in mind that auditability is completely optional. Users do not have to allow this functionality when using Beam. I simply find it to be an interesting use case and thought I would share it with all of you. Beam is a privacy coin by default. It allows no open transactions, so even if someone is reading the blockchain, they're not going to gather any valuable information. Users on the Beam network have complete control over their own privacy. This means that you decide what information you want to share and who you want to share it with. Let's take a minute now and talk about the Beam coin. The Beam project held no crowd sale ICO and did not offer any pre-mined coins, something that many cryptocurrency projects don't often do. On the other hand, Beam is significantly rewarding its early investors. Beam has a supply of nearly 263 million tokens, which the project uses on a deflationary emission schedule. This is based on block rewards during halving events along the same lines as Bitcoin. Now, for those of you who enjoy mining, Beam ensures that decentralization occurs on its network by becoming ASIC resistant for the first 18 months. This means GPUs can mine Beam. Enough about the coin though. Who is the team behind the Beam project? The Beam project team brings plenty of experience and background in the entrepreneurship and technology industry. For starters, CEO Alexander Zeidelson began his career working in software development. He founded both Wikitup and Narios and eventually served as VP of Product at Wi-Fi. Alex Romanov is Beam's CTO and comes from a background involving several complex projects while managing large R&D teams. He's been at the helm of the R&D since Beam's inception. It's safe to say that Beam has an excellent leadership team. However, since the project is so new, it's tough to determine how well the team has met its targets. Still, they continue to provide regular updates, which is a positive sign for any cryptocurrency project. You can also take a look into their GitHub repos and monitor the extent of code commits. Quite a lot of code is being shipped. And their most recent updates showed that Beam intends to release the following features by the end of 2019. Multi-sig capabilities, support for Trezor and Ledger hardware wallets, creation of a decentralized marketplace in the Beam wallet which will allow for atomic swaps, and finally some initial features of the opt-in audit. Anyways, how do the markets look for the Beam coin? Beam is available on many different exchanges, doing over $1 million in daily trading on platforms like Hotbit, BW.com, DragonX, and CoinSuper. The coin was recently listed on Binance, so if you prefer to stick with a well-known exchange, you can purchase your Beam there. You can trade Beam against Bitcoin, Ethereum, and USDT on most of these exchanges. While the books for Beam aren't as deep as they are for some of the more popular coins, it still does over $100,000 in trading with Bitcoin. Once you have your coins, you'll want to keep them in a wallet for safekeeping. Luckily for you, Beam has its own wallet available right on its website. It's available on Mac OS, Linux, Windows, Android, and iOS, so no matter which platform you prefer, you're good to go. Oh, and if you're looking to store your Beam in a hardware wallet, this is around the corner. Beam is about to release for Trezor and Ledger integration is in the works too. But now we get down to what I really think about the Beam project. Honestly, as one of the first MimbleWimble cryptocurrencies, this project has me pretty excited, especially when you think about the potential that comes from a truly scalable privacy blockchain. You also have a pretty strong team behind the project that has been constantly pushing updates to the protocol, always a good sign. Having said that, the main challenge here is that there are already privacy coins heavily entrenched in the cryptocurrency market. Beam is fighting an uphill battle against coins like Zcash and Monero, so it's going to take quite an effort for it to succeed. Beam could become a great example of how well the MimbleWimble protocol works, but is much too early in the project to make a serious determination. You also have a strong contender in Grin, the other MimbleWimble-based privacy coin. Yet, if Beam can successfully navigate these challenges and continually deliver on its development goals, there is strong potential. We'll keep an eye on the project over the coming months as they roll out further updates. And that's it, guys, my complete overview of Beam. But I want to hear from you. What do you think of Beam? Do you think it can challenge more established privacy coins? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you found this video helpful, then let me know by smashing up that like button and subscribing. It's always appreciated.